Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. We're going to move on with this week and continue exploring bad songs. Songs that are not traditionally great, but still have things that they could possibly teach us in them. Today we're going to be looking at a track called Duh from Corey Feldman, and I already feel like I'm in for a ride. The title of the track is interesting, and Corey Feldman sounds familiar, but I can't put a face to the name. Like, I'm trying to think of like all the music that we've explored and like frontmen of bands or like prominent drummers or prominent guitarists. Like, who's Corey Feldman? I don't quite know. So I'm hoping when I hit play and we dive into this, I'll be like, oh, that's Corey Feldman from this. So, all right, let's get into this and check out Duh by Corey Feldman.
He never actually listens to me. He only plays with his instruments, and he has about 18 instruments, and I don't know which one he's using at what time, and he's usually just tweeting from all 18 of them.
You know, sometimes I'm just trying to get work done, and it's like, I feel like she doesn't even understand me. It drives me crazy because I'm just...
I love you!
See what I mean? Love you too.
No sex for 2 weeks. Really, really rarely.
Hey!
Hey, guys. How are you? Good to see you. Hey, what's up? Hey, how are
It's been so
you?
long. How's it going?
Hi. Oh, hey, Courtney.
Hi, Corey. Oh my god, you look so cute today. Oh wait, you got a hair.
Oh, hey, thanks. Yeah, that makes her a little...
Pastry?
We have to go.
Oh, yeah, the time I forgot.
Breakfast.
No, but it's the rehearsal. But bye. You look lovely.
Okay, ow. Hey.
I'm sure they're delicious.
Oh, great. What just happened?
Because I don't know. It's just duh.
You must be divine to be an angel, for an angel can do no wrong, as long as it's done under the halo.
Gotta think positive. There's gotta be something we can learn from this track.
Everybody talking now, you want it. Everybody talking now, you got it. Everybody trying hard to stop it. Playing with the wild card, everybody trying to look the coolest. Everybody wanna be the newest. Everybody trying to be the greatest. It's a simple recipe. Don't hate us. I'm just trying to rise a simple question, 'cause I'm insecure and I forgot to mention it. Tired of feeling stupid, not knowing what to say. But every time I open up, I get in my way. Do you think I'm cute? Should I wear a suit? Should I just go mute? So dumb. Do you like my hair? Or the clothes I wear? Are you even there? So dumb.
Oh my god, like, I don't even know what to say about that. It's like, so dumb.
All the women telling me I'm sexy. All the women calling me just text me. All the women calling me
When did this song come out?
too soon. You really seem like my style. They've all been jerking me a while. I'm just trying to figure out why choose me and what it's all about.
It feels like he's trying to channel Justin Timberlake, trying to channel Michael Jackson while having a gritty, like, voice. And I'm very confused.
Don't tell me duh. Don't tell me duh. Don't tell me duh. Ready? Here we go. This is the part where it gets real crazy. Everybody knows that you can't be lazy. When you want to get on my tip, that's crazy. Everybody knows that my name ain't Stacy. I like angels, that's my thing. Everybody wants to buy you a ring, but I tell you now's my thing. A ding, ring, ding, ring, ring. Did time to get down. I forgot my lines, but I'm gonna remember.
What?
I'm the best rapper ever in the whole wide world. Okay, ready? This
time it's gonna be the right way. Let me figure it out. Hold on, I think I got this. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4. I figured it out.
Do you think I'm cute?
Should I wear the suit?
Should I just go mute? So dumb. Do you like my hair? Or the clothes I wear? Are you even there? So dumb. Do you think I'm cute?
Should I wear the suit?
Should I just go mute? So dumb. So dumb.
So duh.
I think the first thing we have to ask is, what is a bad song? I think this is a very important question for Bad Song Week. Is it a song that is performed poorly? Like we saw yesterday with the Shags, where, the song was not terrible, just the performance that was recorded and distributed had plenty of flaws in it. Is that a bad song? We know by definition that a song is not bad just because it deals with tonality issues or timing issues or anything of that sort, because we've listened to plenty of great avant-garde music and stuff on the fringe that pushes against music theory and traditional compositional technique. So that doesn't necessarily make a song bad. And the last metric would be more of a consumerist metric of downloads or streams or views. But I don't know that we can take that in the right direction, because we've listened to some really great stuff, both on the fringe of music and in creator request with up and coming bands that don't have a lot of views or listens on Spotify, but as far as I'm concerned, are making good music. So, what is a bad song? If it can't be judged by traditional composition standards, performance, or metrics, popularity, I suppose would be a way to put that. And I think that's what this song sets out to ask. Not intentionally, I don't think, but it is competently created. The production is fantastic. The vocal work, I think, is it's got to be intentionally done, assuming that his natural voice is what we heard at the beginning during the acted part, sitting by the pool with his wife, character wife, I guess. I'm not sure. The voice that he utilizes to sing is drastically different. It has to be some sort of voice or character that he puts on to do this performance. So, performance-wise, both the production and the musicianship of it, which the only acoustic instrument is vocals, all seems to be done very well. There aren't any performance issues where there's intonation problems or timing issues. Everything is played as it should be. And, well, I guess we can kind of look at viewership. Like I said, I don't think popularity is a strong metric for good art in any medium. But we have a channel with 47,000 subscribers and the song has 200,000 views. So this is a smaller channel, and this song specifically has 5 times as many views as subscribers. Not massive success, massive hit, but I'd say that did pretty well, right? For being a smaller channel, I think that's a respectable amount of views, especially for less than 10 years. I mean, I have half as many subscribers, and I don't think any of my videos are even close to hitting 6 digits on views yet. So, at least from my perspective, not doing too bad. So, by every metric that I can identify a bad song as, the song doesn't seem to be a bad song on paper. And I don't think it is a bad song in practice either. But I think intention comes into a lot of play here. What is the purpose of this song, and how are people going to perceive it? And much like yesterday's The Shags, I think it's really important to ask the question, who is the audience of this and what are they expecting out of it? And I can't answer either of those. I can only come at it from my angle. And what I hear is a very tongue-in-cheek comedy style song designed to be intentionally abrasive auditorily. I don't know why. I was going to say possibly to incite conversation about pop music and even hip hop or rapping in general. Because let's look at things individually. Okay, let's actually focus down on things instead of looking at larger topics. The music, the electronic music behind the vocals are competently created, but they are basic, right? And I don't know if I'm just spoiled being almost 2 decades past this and having watched pop and electronic music evolve in ways to create denser and richer soundscapes, but this is extremely simplistic. We usually only have 1 or 2, sometimes 3 tops voices in the background, and they're very simple ideas that tend to kind of stick around in a specific part of the soundscape and just kind of exist there for a little bit and then disappear. There isn't really much of an idea of building on ideas. So, we have this note or this riff up here, and then we have a riff over here, and then we have something that kind of pans across from right to left, and none of them really line up to add anything to each other. They sort of exist in isolation, and that's kind of it. It makes a song that feels very sparse and disconnected. And then when we look at the timbres themselves, again, looking back at this with modern production ears, the voices, the timbres, the tones that they utilize for all of the instruments in here are kind of tinny. They're kind of narrow. None of them are super wide. None of them are really filling the sound space. So overall, we just get this very narrow, sort of, I don't want to say compressed, but just narrow, I guess. We have this narrow sound sphere. It doesn't feel like it's taking up a lot of space. It is kind of very centered and aiming for a very specific forward style that creates this atmosphere of. It's interesting because the atmosphere simultaneously feels very small but very empty, right? So there's still this feeling of largeness of space because of the emptiness of the sound sphere, but all of the voices themselves are very centered and shallow. There's no depth or width to them. So the instruments themselves make it feel narrow, but the overall use of the instruments in combination with each other make it feel sparse and empty. And it ends up just kind of feeling flat. I think that's the overall thing that I'm getting from the music, is that it lacks oomph or punch or largeness or grandiosity or something. When you look at even modern pop ballads, which tend to be a bit on the sparser side as far as instrumentation and melody writing and atmospheric creation go, they still fill the sound sphere. There's still this element of utilizing all the space possible to overproduce it, as some people would say. And here we kind of took the opposite approach to that. It almost feels like a. Well, see, I'm coming at it again. I don't really remember what pop production sounds like from the mid 2010s. Production hasn't really been something I've really paid attention to until recently. You guys have really pushed my ear towards understanding production and hearing how the instruments fit in the music, not just compositionally, but production wise, how they're mixed, how they're mastered, where they're placed in the sound. And so it makes me want to go back to listen to some 2010s pop and see how close this was. Were they emulating it perfectly, or were they creating a parody of it? Or were they bringing these ideas up to the surface to say, hey, what would pop sound like this? Or what does pop sound like when we push it to the extreme? Bringing up, questions about the production itself. And the reason I think about this is because when I zero in on the vocals, they have to be for parody purposes. That's the only thing I can think of. I said during the reaction, and I stand by it, it sounds like somebody trying to emulate Justin Timberlake, trying to emulate Michael Jackson, but done so through the lens of a highly compressed, gritty, clean vocal in a lower range that's more comfortable to the vocalist, I would assume. So getting that sharp, crisp, very syncopated, higher pitched rhythm that Justin and Michael typically used in their music, but just removing the range out of it. We still have I kind of removing the crispness as well. We still have the bite of those hits. We still have the syncopation of the rhythms. We still have the funkiness in the way that the melody is written for the vocals. It's just done in a voice that sounds like somebody who drinks and smokes all day, rather than somebody who takes a lot of effort and care of or puts a lot of effort into caring for their vocal cords, because it is their bread and butter. It's what they make their money with. They're singing stuff that does not necessarily easy to do. And they have to keep their vocal chops in tip-top shape to continue to perform as they do. This sounds like the opposite, and because of that, it almost feels like a criticism on pop vocals. Because a lot of pop music is about the vocals. If the vocalist ever decides to stop taking care of their vocal cords, or they can't hit the range that they can anymore, it feels like they kind of just get dumped by the industry. Maybe they end up getting a final record that just doesn't hit the high notes. It doesn't have those massive moments that their older stuff does, and the fans kind of forget about them. So the industry record drops them. Maybe it is a bit more malicious of, you keep up to our records or you lose your record label. You lose your contract. But it really feels like we expect pop artists to stay at the top of their form indefinitely, which is very difficult to do, especially as they start aging out of their 20s and their body begins to, take the toll of aging. It really takes more effort to keep your voice at that level as when you were younger. And this seems to be making some commentary about that. What is it if we pair the same music with the same style of vocals, just not as high pitched, not as crisp? And I might be looking into that. That it might not have anything to do with it. Maybe Corey made this and thought that he just sounded amazing. He didn't really care about influences or commentary or any of that. But, I mean, it all feels like parody to me. It really does. And parody typically has intent. Usually the aim is not just to start punching people, it's to, punch at specific concepts to create conversation about them. And that's exactly where this song feels like it fits for me. Musically, it asks questions about pop production. Vocally, it asks questions about what a pop singer sounds like. And something tells me if we get into the lyrics, there's going to be some stupidity in here that really can't be read in any serious manner. It's going to be tongue in cheek. And something tells me I'm going to have something, I'm going to find something slightly profound in it, whether it was intentional or not. Because do we want to talk about music critically? Duh. That was bad. I know, but I had to do it. And I think that's really all I have to say about that. We touched on the music, we touched on the vocals, and that's really all there is to the song. I mean, I can talk a little bit about the music video, which seemed to be, again, parodying both modern music videos, pop music videos themselves, as well as also parodying pop culture television of the 60s. I'm not quite sure what the music video is supposed to be saying. I was a little upset with it going into the beginning because, I mean, it seemed to be diving into the stereotypical family or marital relationships that we see in a lot of 60s sitcoms, where the husband and wife don't like each other and they do anything they can to get away from each other. And we see this not even just through the 60s, but continuing on through the ages. The one that comes to mind immediately for me, we have Family Guy in the 2000s and Married with Children in like the 80s or 90s. These are two paramount sitcoms, I think, about husbands and wives that just don't love each other. And that's kind of the vibe I was getting from the beginning of this. But the more I watched that, especially bringing in the ending, the more I think that it was about bringing up these topics that exist all over our pop culture into the modern mind frame. But again, I could just be thinking way too much into that. And I think a low-hanging fruit here would have easily been to have a moment. We kind of referenced I Love Lucy, I think was one of them. And I think it just would have been real remiss not to bring in the Addams Family, which I think is the perfect antithesis to the marital issues comedy from these type of sitcoms. I mean, that was the exact opposite. We have a husband and wife who love each other. They love their kids. They're outwardly expressive about these ideas. They openly support each other's passions and commitments. I mean, it's just the exact opposite of a lot of what the modern family type of programming was in the day. So because that wasn't brought in, it makes me wonder if it was accidental. Like they just wanted to have all these images and pop culture concepts thrown in, which again could also just be a commentary on, pop music videos. Completely style over substance. I want to put my spin on these old sitcoms. I want to put my angle on that. I want to basically do a cover of these TV shows. Pay homage to them and not really worry about what they mean or what they did and not engage with them on any level other than the stylistic surface level of what they look like. I want to bring nostalgia into play. So, I mean, oh man, I think I'm reading way into this, but I'm honest. I'm not grasping for straws here. I am legitimately telling you what's popping into my head as I listen to and watched and think about what I just experienced. So let's dive into the lyrics here. I got to pull them up real quick. That's what I get for not having them pulled up. originally. All right, I'm gonna just do a cut here because apparently I'm having some problems finding them. I am dumbfounded, flabbergasted. I cannot find the lyrics for this song anywhere. I even combed through all 98 comments hoping somebody had posted it underneath the video, and nothing. So I guess we're just gonna have to go off the little bit of lyrics that I picked up on, which admittedly, first of all, you guys know I don't really pick up on lyrics too much on a first listen, but second of all, especially not so recently since I've relied on written out lyrics. I really don't need to pay attention to them too much while I'm listening to the song because I'm gonna have them written out for me for this segment of the video. So what it appears to be, in what little bit I picked up, is just kind of rolling with life. And because there's a one part, I think it was the first chorus, and it's like, should I buy this suit? Duh. Should I wear this dress? Duh. Should I go outside and have fun? Duh. Just like, I don't know if it's saying that we spend too much time thinking about minor inconsequential things, or if it's saying that you just need to be better at going with the flow and making decisions. And again, I'm looking at like one small part here. And then like, now I'm kind of remembering there was that rap section where you couldn't rap, right? What was that about? I mean, that kind of goes along with both of the ideas, right? Should I rap? If we go along with the first idea that we're thinking too much about inconsequential ideas, should I rap in this song? Duh, why are you thinking about it? Just do it. But also on the other side, if it is about just going with the flow and seeing what happens, again, that kind of rolls in there too. Should you give it a shot? Yeah, why not? Let's see what happens. And, he kind of flubs through it and fails, but he plays it up for comedic elements, and in the end, I'd say it works. But then, like, how does this tie in with the parody? What is this? What are the lyrics saying about pop music in general? If this song is satire, and I think that's the word I've meant this entire time, not parody. I mean, there are parodic elements to the entire song, but I think there's also a lot of satire here. And where's the satire in the lyrics? And they feel kind of duh, right? Like, if we redid this song, assuming it is about, not allowing minor things to stress us out, to focus on the battles that, need focus, and allowing other things to just roll off our back, and we just coast through life a little easier. We figure out what's worth our mental attention and what isn't. That is a very prominent topic to be talking about, especially today. With conversations about mental health on the rise, and really bringing light to that and learning how to care for oneself. Self-care is a big topic, especially in the mid 2010s. That's when I kind of remember more and more people beginning to talk about it. I was kind of hitting that critical mass, moving into the mainstream, and this term self-help. No, not, what is it? No, self-help isn't it. What is it? Self-care? Yeah, because self-help is old. I mean, that's the old self-help books, right? Is it self-care? I can't think of what the term was. But the idea that we need to begin caring for ourselves instead of just trying to fix ourselves to fit in with societal pressures, like figure out what we need as people. I can't remember what that term is called, but it was rising about this time, and it was part of the mental health discussion. And like, if we had a different song that utilized a different phrase rather than duh to, bring about this, maybe even present it in less tongue-in-cheek, more serious style with, modern real productions rather than a parody of electronic production, vocal delivery that was more sincere and more mainstream palatable, I think this topic would resonate well. It'd easily be a top 40 hit just on the topic alone, as long as it's produced well and is palatable to the lowest common denominator. But the fact that it's paired with this specific delivery, which kind of makes it feel like, what are you, stupid? Of course you should do that. Like, it has that condescending element to it. And again, this could be read in the light of a lot of stuff regarding pop music lyrics, where they seem to recycle the same topics over and over and over and over, and every once in a while we get a new topic thrown into the mix, and then we'll hear 50 interpretations of that topic from the same three producers through 50 different voices. Yay, pop industry. And it feels very condescending in that manner, but because it's produced in a way that doesn't have that negativity tied to it, and especially since the artists themselves have huge fandoms behind them that will take every piece of bread that they, every crumb that they give them as, the holiest of words or advice or whatever in any of their songs, it doesn't feel as condescending because of the personality. Whereas here, at least as far as I can see it, I mean, I don't know who this Corey Feldman is still. I've seen him. I don't recognize him. The name's still familiar to me, but it's only 47,000 subscribers, so is this a big name person? Is this a huge celebrity? I don't know. So when we detach that personality, right, that socio-parasitic attachment that people have to celebrities, we get that same message delivered, but he can deliver it in a way that directly states the condescending element of it. Because at the end of the day, these celebrities are not like us. They are definitely part of the 1%, right? They have, 2, 3, 4 million followers on Instagram or whatever. And, they go to the concerts and they can sit on stage and say, hey, repeat after me. And thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands voices, especially if they go to huge stadiums, will repeat after them. They have a lot more power and status than your average person does. I think that there is no larger evidence of this than the tone deaf collaborative cover of Imagine when the lockdowns began to start in 2019, that a lot of the celebrities, and including pop stars in this list, contributed to, and it felt very out of touch. There was a condescending element to the words because of the class difference that I think people don't realize or don't understand, or is intentionally hidden when it comes to traditional pop music outside of something like this special collaborative project. And Corey puts it on full display here. There is this condescending element. Look at me. I'm writing this song and I'm looking down on you. Why are you? It's not, hey, you should raise yourself up better. It's like, hey, why are you pushing yourself down so far? Why are you worrying about all this trivial stuff? What are you, stupid? And it feels less familiar, or it feels less friendly. But I think when we take back the paint off of a lot of pop culture songs and messages from especially manufactured celebrities, I think that condensation, yeah, no, that's the right word, condescending element is there. It's just been masked a little better. And I really do feel like this is satire. I feel like this is playing into the pop industry music of pushing out songs like this and really asking what any of it means when it's taking outside of the corporate machine. What is pop music? What are pop lyrics? What are pop vocals? Let's really distill all this down and bring some conversation to the table about it. So those are my thoughts on Corey Feldman's Duh. I don't know if it's a bad song because at the end of the day, I think it's intentionally unpalatable. It goes out of its way to create a sound that is the antithesis of everything that it would normally be attempting to emulate. It is a pop song with sparse production, bad vocals, and condescending lyrics. And because of this, it asks questions about what pop music even is. So I don't know if it's a bad song. It's intentionally bad, I think, to spark conversation. Does that make it a bad song? I think that might make it a bad commercial song, but a great work of art. I think that's where I stand. This is where you guys come in, though. Let me know. Am I crazy? Am I seeing something here that's not? And what's Corey's stance on this? Where does he sit on this whole thing? Was this intentionally satirical? Or did he really give it his all to create a massive pop hit and just failed entirely? Let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are. Above the comment section is a description box, and there is a link for Linktree. Take you to this menu right here. It has everything related to the channel in it. You can pick up some merch, follow me on Twitter, join the Patreon, join the Discord, submit special selections, all sorts of stuff. Just a lot of links in there. Go ahead and check that out. Above that, if you could, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Greatly appreciate all three of those. Alright, we had one more video, came out like 7 minutes ago. It's our special selection for the day. It's an older group called Fate's Warning. I think it's prog, if I remember correctly, like prog rock. But I'm not 100% sure on that. So if that sounds interesting, or if you just want to know if I got that right or not, if my brain memory is working properly, head over there and check that out. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC as usual. We'll be looking at another bad song and checking out some more special selection requests. Until next time, remember to be critical but not cynical of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.